It's Wednesday, April 3rd, 2019. I hope every one of you out there is having a fantastic day. Making a quick video today. I'm going to get right into it. Markets are pushing ahead. NASDAQ, S&P, Dow Jones was up 103, but it is down about 12 points, but we still have about 10, 15 minutes to go before the close. We just got a report that we are 90% near a deal with the China negotiation, so we'll see if that has any influence on the closing of these markets. But what I really want to talk about is this bad news that came out today that has no effect on these markets. Auto sales were horrific. We just got first quarter auto sales. The news is horrific. It's bad news, yet the markets move along. As the markets near all-time highs, they completely ignore the real news, the real economy. Auto sales and retail have no effect with the stock market, apparently. We are so detached from reality. I want to go over these numbers with you. You know, in a real market, we would have saw some devastation take place in the stock market today. But again, bad news seems to be good news in these markets. General Motors was down 7% in the first quarter 2019. Their Chevy Silverado was down 16%. The Chevy Suburban was down 25%. And you have to ask yourself, gas prices are going up. I'm paying about $3.50 a gallon here in Southern California in the desert. And it's going to be much more in LA, much more in Northern California. But here for California, we're priced pretty well. And I'm paying $3.50 a gallon. What's going to happen as oil continues to go up, the prices at the pump go up, and so many of these automakers are have gone all in on SUVs. You know, they've really gotten rid of sedans because of the need for SUVs and the demand for SUVs. So, there's going to be a breaking point with gas. Is it, $3.50 a gallon? Is it $4.50 a gallon where people go, I'm just not buying an SUV? So this can really have an effect also with auto sales, and it's going to be the price of oil and what you're paying at the pump. Let's move on. Fiat Chrysler, their estimates were for a decline of 6.4% in the first quarter, but the news was worse. Their sales dropped to 7.3%, so almost a full percentage point above what they were estimating. Jeep fell 11%. Nissan was down 11.6%. Deliveries fell 23% for their Infiniti brand. So just really, really bad news, yet it has no effect on the stock market. Ford sales were down 5% in March. They expected to show a 2% decline for the quarter. The numbers are not out yet for Ford, but they're expecting a 2% decline. Honda had some good news. They saw a 4.3% increase in sales, and the Honda Accord was up 5%. That's a really nice car. It's super popular, and it seems to have really helped them out. Most analysts predict auto sales will slip below 17 million for the first time in 5 years. On top of the horrific auto sales, we look at retail. And again, stock market and Wall Street is so detached from the real world, from the real economy. The real economy says this: 41,000 people in the retail sector have already lost their jobs this year, and this does not include the month of March. So January and February alone, 41,000 people who worked in retail don't have a job. It's not just Amazon that is affecting retail, and it has affected it to a degree, but it's not the reason why we're witnessing this retail apocalypse. A lot of these retail stores took on way too much debt, and at the same time, households have taken on too much debt. So as we're in a period now where the consumer has to borrow less, as the consumer is maxed out, as the retail stores can no longer keep up with the debt that they took on, that they cannot pay back, we are witnessing ground zero. The retail sector now is ground zero in regards to the economy, and it's a true reflection of what is happening in the U.S. economy. When the economy is booming, people are buying stuff. when the economy is not booming, simple, they're not buying as much stuff. And right now, we are witnessing the U.S. economy seizing up. And we are going to see ghost towns of malls, ghost towns of retail strip shopping centers. These places are going to look like ghost towns, and they're going to have major effects in communities across the country as we see some of these stores, which are anchor stores that support other businesses, that support restaurants, they're going to disappear, and they're going to affect the stores around them. They're going to affect the restaurant and other businesses around them. So we're going to see this continue throughout 2019, and it is really, really horrible what we are witnessing. Yet, the stock market and Wall Street ignore the real economy and what is really taking place. I know a lot of people at the end of the day are going to look at these markets and think that everything is great. We're going to be approaching all-time highs here, and I'm sure we're going to surpass the all-time highs here shortly. But in reality, take a look, in your towns for the most part. I'm not talking about if you live in Newport Beach or Laguna Beach or in a 1% type town, but for the most part across this country, we are seeing these retail shopping centers closing up. We're witnessing the shopping malls closing up. The little strip malls are closing up, and they're having drastic effects on the local economies. So I'm going to close this video out, but in closing, I want to say this. Debt is killing retail. Debt is killing households. Debt is killing this economy. Make sure that you get out of debt. Make sure you pay your debts down. Make sure you get your debt at least manageable, and make sure you're putting an emergency fund away. We have to remember this. We have not yet hit a recession, even though we are in the beginning of one, but we have not actually seen a massive slowdown yet in this country. When we start actually having a slowdown, when we start actually admitting that we're in a recession, if you think it's bad right now, if you think all these commercial vacancies and all these retail store vacancies is big right now, that we have a huge amount of commercial and retail space that's vacant. If you think the numbers are big right now, wait till we have a slowdown in America. This is a warning to everybody. Get your debts manageable, get your debts paid off. We are on the cusp right now of a recession here in America. And I don't care what the TV says, I don't care what the Dow Jones says, or the S&P, or the NASDAQ, or what any business analyst says. I can see with my own two eyes what is happening here in the United States of America. We are witnessing an economic slowdown, and it's just the beginning. And when this recession hits, it is going to be absolutely devastating what we're going to see as far as mall closings, the strip centers closing, retail and commercial real estate vacancies. It's going to get bad. It's going to get bad. So be your own independent human being. Be your own central bank. Get your debts paid down. Have an emergency fund put away. Have some cash put away, and please try to have some precious metals put away. This is a warning. This is just the beginning. If you think it's bad now, if you think these auto sale numbers are bad right now, if you think retail's bad right now, you haven't seen anything yet. Wait till you see what's coming.